France will take on Croatia in the World Cup final on Sunday. It's France's third final in history, after they took the crown on home soil in 1998 and finished second in 2006, losing to Italy on penalties. Croatia were semi-finalists in 98, finishing third after beating the Netherlands 2-1 in the third place playoff, having been denied a place in the final by France and 2 goals from Lilian Thuram. Since 98, Croatia have never gone further than the group stages and didn't qualify for 2010. France have the pedigree and the history, but no one, least of all Didier Deschamps, will underestimate Zlatko Dalic's side. France will line up in a lopsided 4-2-3-1, probably with Blaise Matuidi, but possibly Corentin Tolisso playing on the left-hand side of the attacking midfield three. In defence, France will look like a 4-3-3, danger man Kylian Mbappe trying to hang out slightly on the right, and Matuidi dropping and tucking in to provide solidity in the midfield. France's fullbacks push high, especially Benjamin Pavard on the right, while N'Golo Kante does his usual significant covering work. In transition, Paul Pogba is the key man, carrying the ball and releasing France with long raking passes. His defensive work should not be underestimated either, as shown against Belgium when he managed to shut down Marouane Fellaini and still provide a significant attacking outlet. Croatia under Dalic have played some form of 4-2-3-1, but there are 2 variants. In the quarters, Dalic played Andrej Kramaric off Mario Mandzukic with a midfield double pivot of Luka Modric and Ivan Rakitic. In other games though, Dalic's side have looked more like a 4-3-3 against teams where greater defensive solidity is required in midfield. By bringing in Marcelo Brozovic, star men Ivan Rakitic and Luka Modric have greater cover, and this gives Croatia better balance, though it makes it harder for them to link the attack through the centre. Croatia like to keep the ball, working it horizontally through the defence or midfield, looking for the moment when either the wide attackers or fullbacks are in space. They then transition quickly wide and look to create crossing opportunities, or for the wide players to run inside and shoot. France and Croatia will therefore likely line up as 2 variants of 4-2-3-1/4-3-3. Dalic will almost certainly go with the formation used against England in the semi-final, as he needs to ensure that France cannot easily play through Croatia's middle, and Deschamps has shown that, since dropping Ousmane Dembele for Olivier Giroud after the opening game, he's found the team he wants to use, and Giroud has made himself indispensable. France need to defend the wings and attack the centre. Kylian Mbappe has been exceptional this tournament, but France's left-hand side is a lot more solid, as Mbappe likes to drift into space to create an outlet, rather than track rigorously back and assist Pavard. Croatia will also look to push their fullbacks high, partly because pressing Mbappe when he receives the ball facing his own goal forces him to pass backwards or inside rather than turn and run, and partly because Croatia's fullbacks support the wide players and are key to their attack. France cannot allow this, and need to keep the solid 4-3-3 and encourage Mbappe to help Pavard out on the right, as Matuidi will assist Hernandez on the left. This can cut off Croatia's fullbacks while retaining a solid middle and prevent Dalic's side having their easiest means of progressing the ball. France are best when counter-attacking, or attacking quickly and directly from the back, against sides whose defensive structure through the middle is poor. France can look a little ponderous in slow build-up play and suffered against Denmark and Australia, who sat deep and compact. Deschamps' side need to exploit Croatia's willingness to get men forwards and Rakitic's and Modric's tendency to push up and slightly outwards to create passing options for Perisic and Rebic. This should leave room to play through the middle, and Paul Pogba could have a field day against a loose Croatian midfield. His efforts in containing Rakitic will also be key defensively, but if the Man United midfielder can carry the ball into open space and find passing lanes through a disjointed Croatian midfield, France can definitely profit. Croatia will create chances, but they need to defend well, especially against France's verticality through midfield. Croatia pressed England well, but while this unsettled the English ball-playing defenders and caused goalkeeper Jordan Pickford to go long often, the gap between Modric and Rakitic as one, the higher midfield line and Brozovic behind them meant that England could pounce on second balls. The pace of Raheem Sterling on the break forced the Croatian defence and Brozovic to drop deep to cover, which caused the gap. They cannot afford to do the same against France. Giroud is probably a better hold-up player than Harry Kane, and Mbappe poses the same, if not a greater, broken field running threat than Sterling did. If Croatia press, they need to do so as a team and squeeze the gaps. If they drop off, Croatia will find it easier to stop France, but less easy to win the ball higher up the pitch and transition quickly into an attack. Croatia's wide players, especially Perisic, have provided their main attacking outlet. Rebic, who can be abrasive and might be targeted by France to rile him up, and Perisic swap flanks during the game and either play wide or look for crosses or cut inside. They look to drift out to create space for themselves, to be found by long diagonal passes from the Croatian midfield, and the fullbacks push up to support them. If Croatia can counter, especially on France's right when Pavard is pushed high and Mbappe is not covering back, then Perisic can have some joy. Pogba or N'Golo Kante will need to drop back to assist and prevent Croatia from working their overloads in the wide and half spaces, which could leave room for Rakitic or Modric to push up into around the edge of the box. This, plus Rebic's ability to drift inside and Mario Mandzukic's all-round quality, mean that France can ill afford to be exposed here. They need to work collectively or Croatia will find gaps. France will start as the favourites and certainly have the quality to win their second World Cup, but no one will underestimate the quality Croatia possesses, especially in their front six. France's defensive ability and shape will be the key. Should they maintain this and deny Croatia chances, they should be able to create enough of their own on the counter to score. But if Croatia can nullify this threat and tighten up through the middle, they have the attacking ability to test Hugo Lloris. Whether he or Luka Modric lifts the World Cup on Sunday, both sides have impressed this tournament and are worthy finalists. It should be a fitting end to a wonderful World Cup.